This is the moment. This is his moment.
Could be a repeat of the 1-2 at the Dublin Racing Festival.
I don't actually know, again, what this horse has done wrong.
I'll be taking on John one of those two, Samwell.
Absolute muppet. Here we are then, day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival here on the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel. Do like, comment, share and subscribe. I didn't even give you a big subscribe spiel at the start of day 1. We need to get to 2,500 subscribers by the end of the Cheltenham Festival. So do hit that subscribe button. It's down below. It's free to do so and it does help us out massively. So click that button, please. Right, Jack, we've done day 1. We're on to day 2 now. We're going to have 3 races, I believe, that we're looking at, which will involve the Turners Novices Hurdle. We've got the Brown Advisory, and then the big one will be the Champion Chase on day 2. Really looking forward to this day. It's a fantastic day of action.
Yeah, no, it is a fantastic day of action. There's a few good races to get stuck into. Of course, Tuesday and Wednesday usually fall on the punter's side before bookmakers try and claw it all back. So hopefully we've got a few winners here to send us into Thursday happy.
Hopefully so, and there are some really decent handicaps as well on the Wednesday, and we'll be covering them in Friday's video. So we'll have our handicap fancies on Friday leading up, and we've obviously got day 3's preview tomorrow, day 4's on Thursday, and you'll get that video on Friday with a top 5 bets video on Saturday. Really looking forward to that. Let's get into the action then, Jack. The 120 on the Wednesday is the Turners Novices Hurdle, grade 1 over 2 mile, 5 furlongs. Final Demand is currently the 13-8 favourite. The New Lion for Dan Skelton at 11-4. Cope at the board won't be going here, is 5-1. The Yellow Clay is 8-1. 16-1 about James's Gate, Potter's Charm, and 6 Mile Bridge, and 25-1. And bigger the rest. I'll kick things off here, and I'll go for hopefully what could be a trend breaker in this race, and it's going to be the New Lion for Dan Skelton. I won't be going for the favourite, and the reason it's going to be a trend breaker is because Challow Hurdle winners have a dreadful record at the Cheltenham Festival. They really do. I won't let that put me off, though. I think the run at Chepstow, the 2 runs at Newbury, have just looked exceptional. He's looked like a proper beast who travels so strongly. He really does. And you couldn't have a better jockey to have hold of a horse than Harry Skelton. When he's swinging around a bend on a horse, you get quite excited by it. I know Jack did when Langer Down was swinging into the bend a few times. But I'm quite excited by this horse. And JP McManus has obviously made this big purchase. So he obviously sees this potential as well. He's a really solid jumper of a hurdle. And it was interesting to hear what Dan Skelton said about this horse, in the fact that he could be one of the best he's ever trained. He went for a proper Aidan O'Brien moment and came out with the fact that he could potentially be the best he's ever trained. So in the future, he could become a really exceptional horse. He's done absolutely nothing wrong today. He's unbeaten. And I think he's very solid. I do think he's facing a good horse in Final Demand, don't get me wrong, because I was there again at DRF. And this horse, he just seems like a horse who's very tough to pass. He stays well, he grinds horses into the ground. But I do also think that if this horse, the New Lion, was trained by Willie Mullins, that they would potentially be joint favourites and be a little bit shorter. And a few things may have pushed this horse's price. And obviously Cowabunga for JP McManus coming out of this race after suffering a setback has probably, in some ways helped his chances. He might end up being JP's number 1 hope in this race now, and he will be. But 11-4, I think he's a value pick. I'm not with Final Demand, but Jack, you did tease the fact on our ante-post episode on Sunday just gone that this was one of the potential bankers for you at the festival.
Yeah, I think, look, Willie Mullins has won the past 3 Turners Novices Hurdles, and I think he's going to go make it 4 in a row here. It's interesting enough. I can't really see an out-and-out leader here. I think quite a few of them will be settled prominently, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a tactical affair, a little bit muddling, and turns into a little bit of a sprint. You can't really pick too many holes in either the New Line or Final Demand. If you were going to, it might be that if we do get quicker ground, they've already won on soft or yielding to soft. The New Line did win on good to soft at Newbury, but that takes a little bit of getting at Newbury, and he was a non-runner on decent ground before he made his debut. So there's probably a little bit of holes to pick in there. Just New Line. I know Dan Skelton, of course, said he could be the best he's ever trained. It's only actually going to be his 6th runner in the race, so you can see why he said that. He probably hasn't had the grade 1 firepower when it comes to novice hurdles, so you can completely understand why they're getting excited about him. I think Final Demand is just a better horse, though, Sam. I think he showed a nice turn of foot. He was pretty strong travelling. He found plenty off the bridle at Leopardstown last time out, and I think he is the one to beat. But I'm happy to back Final Demand, and also one at a price. I think Potter's Charm is now too big for us, 16-1. Yes, he was disappointing last time out. but he's already a Grade 1 winner. He has vital course and distance experience, and he will love the ground. So I think he's a viable each way option at 16-1. But I think Final Demand will be winning this, and I'll happily also play the forecast for both Final Demand and Potter's Charm.
It's interesting because, yeah, if you're looking for a price, Potter's Charm is definitely it. And it seems like the Formby Novices Hurdle has become our favourite race over the last 4 weeks. We must have mentioned it plenty. But look, he's a Grade 1 winner. He is very solid. And maybe he just needs a little bit of a break. And he's going to get that now ahead of Cheltenham. And we might see him back to his best. And out the ones at bigger price, he was one that I looked at, but it's a decent each way shout for sure. But Jack's going to be with the favourite Fond Demand. I'll be with the second favourite in the New Lion, but both in agreement that Potter's Charm may be a decent each way play in the race. Let's move on then to a Novices Chase, which is the Brown Advisory Novices Chase at 2 o'clock, just over 3 miles, where Ballyburn is the 7-4 favourite. Dancing City is 7-2. Best of Days Ahead is 8-1. Croke Park is 12-1. Lecky Watson 16s and 20s. Bar those. I went through this race and I kept looking at it multiple times, and then I thought Ballyburn is just so solid, and I thought he should actually be a bit shorter because I don't actually know again what this horse has done wrong. He won what would have been the Turner's Novices Hurdle last year in exceptional style. He was kind of the banker, or a lot of people's banker of last year's festival, wasn't he? And he was exceptional. We then knew he was going over fences. He won at heavy odds on, didn't he, on chasing debut at Punchestown, and then he was beaten by Sergino over a trip that they tried as a potential Arkle test, and it just didn't work. And he was beaten by a machine in Sergino anyway. And then he won at the Dublin Racing Festival, where he was out of jump by Croke Park at the last, and then he just pulled clear. This trip is going to be ideal for him. Dancing City, I get Dancing City, and the horse has looked really good this season. But Ballyburner, just as a horse, and his engine is just insane. He is the play in here, and I think he is almost going to be one of my bankers of the week. I think he's so solid. And if Croke Park were to turn up, if it got soft especially, I think Croke Park's a superb each way play. That 1-2 from the Dublin Racing Festival, I just think it's so solid, Jack. I don't know how you looked at this. You must have had a brief look at it, but Ballyburn's solid at the top, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I echo everything you say there, which is quite rare for us to completely agree. I thought he'd be a little bit shorter. I can.
Yeah.
What's he done wrong? I mean, yes, he hasn't run over the trip, but he's related to so many 3 milers, 3 mile winners. Manila Daddy, Noble Endeavour. He's going to relish the trip. He kicked clear of Croke Park. As you say, he was running over 2 miles. It was just never going to suit him, and he still ran a decent race behind probably the best novice chaser over 2 miles by about £25 this year. Like, it's not even close. So I think he's clearly the one to be. I think he'll probably start even money on the day, and I think could be a repeat of the 1-2 at the Dublin Racing Festival.
Yeah, look, there are going to be some of these short price favourites that Jack and I are going to like during these previews, and I think he's one of the most solid, and we do like to try and find some value in the race, and like I say, Croke Park is potentially that, but I do think...
Sam, just quickly, like when you look at, say, a Madgeborough at 8-13 and Ballyburn at 7-4, like it's just they should be like much closer than they are. Do you not think?
I'd be more comfortable with my money on Ballyburn than I would on Madgeborough. More comfortable that Ballyburn will jump round and get round. I'm saying this now, please don't curse that, but I genuinely do think he's just gonna jump round, and as soon as he jumps to last, there's no doubt him staying up the hill. He is gonna fly up that hill. He genuinely is, and even if he is in a battle going to the last, he probably will outbattle whatever is in his way. He just looked like he was pulling away from Croke Park at the DRF, and I'm a massive fan of his. I think he's, I don't know what it is, maybe just that loss to Sergino gave him, people kind of disrespect him a little bit and thought, oh, maybe he's not the machine we all thought, but I still think he is that machine, and potentially a Gold Cup horse for next year who will be taking on Galopin Des Champs for potentially what could be his 4th Gold Cup. So we'll just wait and see. But Jack and I in agreement, Ballyburn could be a lot shorter in here, and I do like Croke Park, especially if it gets soft as an each way play in the the Brown Advisory Novices Chase. The 4 o'clock is the feature on the day, Jack. This is the big one. This is the Queen Mother Champion Chase over 2 mile there at 4 o'clock. And John Bon is the 10-11 favourite currently. Energumene and Gaelic Warrior and Marine Nationale all 8-1. Solness is 9-1. Ile Francais may be going for the Ryanair. He's 10-1 and 16-1 bar these. Ole, 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 ole. This is it. This is the moment. This is his moment. John Bon, he is right, and this is going to be a real fun debate because if you've been following the Next Gen Racing channel for the last few weeks, you will know that there's been plenty of ding dongs with our opinion on John Bon this season. Melling Chase, Celebration Chase, Schlur Chase, Tingle Creek Chase, Clarence House Chase, all been what I say this season. I mean, since Cheltenham last year, but what on earth has this horse done wrong? And you're going to say, he's done nothing wrong, Sam. He's done nothing wrong. He just doesn't perform at Cheltenham. He just doesn't perform at Cheltenham. Where was the Schlur Chase run? I can't remember where that was run. It doesn't matter. This horse here is a mature horse. It's his year. He is, in my opinion, the big banker of the week. Don't need to say anything more. Off you go.
It's just we've gone from agreeing with each other and being in perfect harmony to being literally as far apart as one could possibly be. I think he's the odds-on favourite that I really, really, really want to take on. Like, look, as you say, has he done anything wrong this season? No. The Schlur Chase, he scraped past an average boot hill in the Schlur Chase in November. He was beaten by Elixir Nuts in the Clarence House, which you very, very nicely left out there, and of course was destroyed by Fabio in the Arkle in 2023. And you can pencil him in for a mistake. He's not at his best around Cheltenham. He's odds on. He's got a dual Group 1 winner in Solness who's going to be taking him on out in front. He's even got the likes of, I think Energamain, Gaelic Warrior, probably you can get rid of them because I don't think the ground's going to be soft enough for them. But Sam, you've got to take him on. You've got to take him on. I'm happy to take him on with two runners here. Henry de Bromhead's 9 of his 18 runners have actually placed in the champion chasing. Quilixios, yes, I know Sam, who's beaten 8 lengths by John Bon in the Tingle Creek, but he looks a big enough price. He destroyed Marine Nationale, jumped well at Naas on good ground. If the ground does come up good, he's going to go to the front. He's 40-1. And another front runner you can guarantee he's going to be out there is Solness. And last year when he was beaten a long way in the Grand Annual at 12-1, you wouldn't think he'll be a dual grade 1 winner. But he's beaten Marine Nationale by 2 lengths last time out. He's probably covered about 25 lengths further than them, having to come as wide as he did. He's 9-1. Quilixios is 40-1. John Bon's odds on. I'll be taking on John Bon with those two, Samuel.
Absolute muppet. Solness is a grade 1 pacemaker from another yard. Basically, Nicky Anderson must be looking at Solness going, that's going to be perfect. Set it right up for my horse. He is exceptional. I really do think. Can I ask you a really pointless question? Do you like pointless questions? Should I give you one?
Far away.
Right, okay. With this market right now, you run it at Ascot. What price is John
Bon? Yeah, he's probably 8-11, 10-11.
Right. So you don't think there'd be any difference, right? Okay, it's interesting.
No, he's going to be chronically overbet, Sam. He's odds on, and he shouldn't be.
I was at the start of the season, I might have agreed with you, but after seeing the way that I think he's matured, I just think he's so solid. So a real difference of opinion. The one that I would say, if I was to have a horse to finish second in here, I do think Marine Nationale, and it would be great, by the way, if Marine Nationale were to go and run a really decent race here. I really do think it would be an exceptional thing for the Cheltenham Festival. But he'd be the horse that I'd have to run big in second, potentially. But I think John Bon is just far too good for these. I really do. So, yeah, John Bon for me, and not John Bon for Jack is essentially the way here. But Solness is potentially the interesting one who could try and make all in this race. And let us know. I'll tell you what, instead of letting us know who you fancy, are you with John Bon or you're against John Bon? Let us know down in the comments. We'll have a read through and see how we get on. We'll have to text each other. There's got to be some sort of forfeit or whatever for John Bon. I know that I've got a favourite and I'd be better off, but there's got to be something that we can do. So there we go. Day 2 done and dusted. But before we go, we need to give our best bet on day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival. I mean, I might as well go first, shouldn't I? And I'll just put him up, and there he is. It will be John Bon in the championship. I think these silks would look absolutely
That's shrunk a few times in the wash, hasn't it?
It has, hasn't it? It's a bit small. Yeah, I'm going to be with John Bon. Jack in the champion chase is my best bet. What about yourself?
Yeah, going to keep it simple as well. Went for a bigger price yesterday, but I think Ballyburn's going to win the Brown Advisory in 74, so reasonable price.
Some big opinions there on some of the big races. Like I say, do like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again 6 p.m. tomorrow evening for our preview of day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival.